Welcome down, everyone, to another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddy.
And we are Those Nerds You Know. So...
What are we, Ethan? We're a podcast.
We
talk about nerdy things.
You can do this. I believe in you, Eddy.
No, it's just we're two guys that talk about nerdy things involving movies, TV, anime, gaming.
Yep.
And usually we have relevant information. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we make fun of each other. And it's all good either way.
All great.
Just two friends talking about nerdy stuff.
Yep.
Maybe informing you of things that you don't know.
Likely. Or unlikely. Maybe informing you about things you don't know about us. That's likely a case.
Or maybe, altering your opinion on something that you really like and that someone else doesn't like.
Possibly. Or exposing all the faults in something you do like.
Yeah. So that's what we're about.
That's it. That's what we're about. But thank you for joining us. Happy to have anybody listening. Hopefully, whatever you're doing while listening to us is productive, because this won't be. But we are here to help. This week, since it was Slow News Week, we're going to be talking about just how Eddy and I got into the world of anime. We're both anime fans. We're going to an anime convention this week. San Japan. The best.
And we're flying there for the first time.
Yeah, that's true. Normally we drive there together from our homeland.
Oh, we're gonna miss Buc-ee's.
Yes, we are. But my mother's driving up. She's gonna meet us, so I'm gonna put in some requests. Make sure she gets me some Buc-ee stuff, and you as well if you like. But yeah. So, anyways.
To be fair, news hasn't been too slow. I mean, they did put Guardians 3 on hold, which is
right. Yes,
pretty crazy.
I say news like we do news. We don't really do news.
That's true.
Maybe we could do that. Let's fill time with that. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is on hold
because everyone knows Gunn got fired.
Right, and they couldn't find someone to fill his shoes very quickly.
Decades of things that he said decades ago, which nobody agrees with at the moment. But hey, it's Disney.
Yep. But it's also the age of the internet. Like, you should clean up your stuff, probably.
I'm pretty sure like DC is already in talks with them for doing things. Which
I think I heard that too. Yeah, no.
Actually, really good for them.
Absolutely.
Especially for something like a Green Lantern movie.
Yes.
Because gee whiz.
Please do something better. Yes, absolutely.
And on the other hand, they are. I believe I read there were rumors of the Thor director. I don't remember his name. It's a weird name, but they are thinking they're trying to get him on the Guardians.
Oh, Taika Waititi
as well. Yeah. That's him.
That's the man.
So, I mean, it's kind of a. I mean, if DC gets Gunn, then that's a huge win for them.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna improve drastically.
That's the hope.
If they put him on things.
If they allow him to be Gunn.
If WB is like, hey, you got to do this way.
Right. If they don't have too many cooks in the kitchen trying to get things to make it. Ugh.
But I mean, on the other hand, like he did Guardians of the Galaxy and made them very good and popular. So
absolutely.
Hopefully WB's like, okay, we got you. You're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yes. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they allow him
really
his
nice
creative vision. But I will believe it when I see it.
Right. Because good God, the garbage that's been put out by WB. I mean WB. Did I say WB? What did I say?
You said WB, which is also DC.
Yeah, well, whatever.
That makes sense. For those of you that don't know, DC is owned by Warner Brothers. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, cool. That's happening. Ridiculous that something in the Marvel universe has been... Something like such a powerhouse in the Marvel universe has been kind of cut.
Yeah.
Because
I'm pretty sure they were like trying to kick off like the new generation of like supers from that movie, or at least like the Phase 4 or whatever.
Right. Very possible. It's crazy to me. Crazy, but yeah. Just so everybody knows, kids, clean up your social meds.
Yeah. If you're ever going into
Anything.
show business or anything with high, amount of eyes on you.
Yeah, anything with a lot of visibility, definitely.
You probably want to scrub it clean.
Good idea. Just dump it all. Get new ones. Yeah. Anyways, good practice in today's highly connected world.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any other news this week?
Probably.
Probably. Go find it, readers or listeners. You let us know what it was. So, our topic for today, going in, we wanted to talk a little bit about how Eddie and I got into the world of anime, what our first experiences with anime were. I think I've mentioned a little bit about this, and I've talked a little bit about how I got into manga way back in the day, a year ago probably. So this won't necessarily be that. I'll be talking specifically about the anime world. So some manga might sneak in there. I can't say it won't. But I'm actually interested to hear. I don't know if I've ever heard your bits of how you got into anime and stuff, where you started.
Okay, fine. So I was a wee lad.
Indeed. As we all have.
How it all started. My very first anime was probably Sailor Moon.
Cool.
Which was dubbed by DIC at the time, which was very old. DIC. It's a very old dubbing company, like one of the first ones, even before 4Kids.
Huh.
And
Neat.
it was like, looking back on it, it was very bad.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
There was lots of censoring on things, and they cut out so much.
Yep.
Like even more so than 4Kids, because I don't know. I don't remember exactly what DIC did with other anime, or if they even did other anime. But Sailor Moon was like one of the first on like regulated television, like on the I think it was on WB, so it was cable television. But at least it was one of the first ones that I, came to experience. Just like I'm seeing like clips and stuff that become like memes on the net, on the internet and stuff, like of her saying things and how they dubbed it and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I remember that.
It seems to me like it's like I just looked up like DIC dubbed anime, and it just takes me to the Sailor Moon wiki. So if they did anything else, I assume this was easily their biggest thing. So
I believe the company was called DIC Entertainment.
Yeah, DIC Entertainment.
Yeah. And,
capital D, little I, capital C, Entertainment.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else by them. I mean, I saw their logo a few times, but I was like super young when all this stuff came out. I think they were like in the 80s, like early 90s stuff.
Crazy.
I don't think they exist anymore though, or they got bought out by somebody or something.
Yeah. Huh. Nuts.
But anyway, I just watched it sometimes on the television, so before school or after school. Yes,
that's when I would watch it too. Sailor Moon was, I mean, it's kind of my first anime, but like I have a stranger story, I guess. Not necessarily stranger, but like my history is a little bit cloudy for myself, just because it took me a while to learn the term anime. Like I didn't actually know what that term was.
Oh yeah, no, I mean at that point it was like completely unknown to America.
Right.
I mean, aside from like Speed Racer and the big names that as every household knows.
Yes, everyone.
Like
what
Astro
are those?
Boy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, I mean, they were cartoons at the time. They didn't really have like the
right.
anime word. I don't think.
Yeah, I just there were things
Japanese
I watched.
Animation.
There were things I watched that I understood were Japanese. Like I understood that Sailor Moon was a Japanese show, but I didn't know the name anime.
The art style was definitely unique and so much different than American cartoons.
Right.
I mean, even today, it's like ridiculously different.
Correct. And I watched a bit of Speed Racer before that too. It's just that like I love Sailor Moon, and I of course now know that it's an anime, and I enjoy it.
And it's been remade.
And it's been remade, and I like Crystal, even though a lot of people don't.
Oh, I do too. I love it. I love Crystal.
Yeah, I find most people's complaints about Crystal to be not really substantial. And
yeah, I mean they follow the manga like more than the original series did. The manga, excuse me.
I got you.
I'm gonna toss you out of the window from the hotel Thursday. Anyway, the manga. They followed the manga more closely than
excellent
the original series did.
And so like but I don't consider Sailor Moon my first anime just because I wasn't super aware of what anime was at the time. You know what I mean? Like I didn't get like watching Sailor Moon didn't get me into a culture of anime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did. It got me like I was like I want more of this.
I'm sure it did. Please continue from where we were. Where did you move on from there?
So at that time, it kind of there's a blank period between like childhood to teenager, because like there was Sailor Moon by Deke, and then like Pokemon came out and Digimon. Like those were the next ones to like really explode in America.
Right.
And so I watched both Digimon and Pokemon pretty religiously at the time, but only because so Digimon, it started off as little digital pets, like they had little brick Tamagotchi sort of things.
Right.
I had like 5 of those things. And
this
I
was
loved
before
them.
The show?
Yeah, they came out like
Nuts.
2 or 3 years
Did
before
not know
the anime did, I believe. I mean, granted, this was like in 1996 or 97.
Wow.
And it was probably showing in Japan, but
the
the little digital pets came to America before the anime did. And Pokemon, of course, had the games before the anime, Red and Blue and Green in Japan. So I was very much into that. So I guess that does fill the period between child and teenager. But after teenager came, it started to become a bit more popular with Dragon Ball on Toonami, as well as I think they showed Sailor Moon as well.
Yeah, I believe they did. Or that I think I don't know if it was on Toonami per se, but I think it was showed like right beforehand.
Yeah.
Like before the Toonami block. They would do that. And yeah, Toonami was a big part of it for me too. I still don't think I really understood or knew the word anime at that time though.
Yeah.
I
don't think they ever used it like in the Toonami.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
showcase.
I'm not sure they did either until far into the future from there.
Yeah.
It's funny because like when I talk about Toonami, I often even with like David and Scott. Hey Scott. Hey David.
Hey Scott. Hey David. We miss you.
David, you'll get this later. Even talking with them, I can remember a time when Toonami was every weekday. And there are some people that I talk to that don't recall that. Like they just remember when Toonami was on the Saturday.
I watched that stuff after I got home.
I watched the crap out of it all the time, every day after school.
Yeah, and then like that was like in the late 90s. So.
Yeah, late 90s.
I think they had Voltron as well, like the old Voltron.
They may have. I know. So I know for a fact they had. So like early Toonami run was Dragon Ball Z, Reboot, which was not an anime,
but
computer
generated CG.
Which at the time was like whoa, and now you go back and try to watch that now. Oh, it's so bad, so hard. I know they had early runs of Gundam on there. So
they had Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
Tenchi Muyo.
Tenchi freaking Muyo.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the source of so many problems in anime now. Man, trace so many of their terrible roots back to that show. Even though I enjoyed it, so I'm sure that's nostalgia speaking. I don't know if I could handle it now, but
no, probably
dang.
Not. Like good old fashioned harem mecha anime.
Harem anime, yeah. That's dang.
But I think they showed Card Captors at one point as well, and Outlaw Star and the Big O. Oh my god!
I know
It was
the Big
all
O and
mecha
Outlaw Star.
anime.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, really. That's like I'm certain Toonami helped feed some of the like just false ideas that anime is just
like giant robots.
giant robot cartoons. Yes, I've had so many. Like I know so many people that know nothing about anime that just think, oh, like I say the word anime and they're like, oh, you mean that like those cartoons with big robots? I'm like,
yeah, that's really like that's
no,
a good point because I mean
Yeah.
there were so many mecha animes.
Yes.
Because I mean the Big O and the Outlaw Star, like those were a mecha anime. Well, Outlaw Star was more of a spaceship in space sort of thing. I don't recall any giant robots in there. I mean they may have had some, but
right.
I know the Big O was about the giant robot.
Yeah. And then all the Gundams, Gundam Wing, all that nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was early. I believe that was early in the Toonami broadcasting.
Yeah, definitely. Goodness gracious. And so then other anime I watched. So like I essentially got into the world of anime where we grew up. I assume you grew up in Louisiana. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I did as well. And I was in Central. I don't know where you were.
I was in Gonzales, Baton Rouge area.
Cool.
Like at all
Basically
times.
the same thing in the opposite direction. Just I assume it's pretty safe to say that there wasn't much of a culture or large fan following of anime where we were. And like I didn't have anyone really to talk to about it. Like I would share it with Corey, my best friend who's been on the show before. Hey Corey. And so we could talk about stuff and things like that, but I didn't have anyone to like teach me anything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I started finding magazines at gas stations that were anime themed. So like Animerica, Anime Insider, and even for a while, New Type USA. And I remember picking up an Anime Insider and like for the first time and reading it in my head, reading that title and saying in my head, Anime Insider, because I had no idea that word was anime. I just didn't know. Like there wasn't an online culture really at the time. I mean, there probably was a small one, but nothing like what we have today. And I literally had no one to like talk to about it or to learn from. And it was a while before I heard that word anime, and it just clicked. I was like, oh, that's what that word is.
Yeah.
And so it's.
And I'm pretty sure I had heard it like at that point, like in like various places, but it just never really caught on.
Yes. I think, and at this point when I had that magazine, this was at the point when Adult Swim was around, and things like Full Metal Alchemist were on.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit farther along into the time period when Cartoon Network was realizing, oh, there is a fan following, and we can make this more mature if we want. And we can show mature anime and like more uncut anime and get a following.
Yeah.
So I guess Toonami is what got me into the anime culture. Yeah. I guess Toonami kind of did that for me.
I can say it helped me break through a lot. I mean, it like that was that and WB, Kids WB. I think that's what Pokemon showed.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pokemon would have been on that.
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh would have been on that. I'm trying to think if there was another one on there.
I mean, there was Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin was on Toonami, yes.
Yeah.
Great freaking show. Goodness gracious.
Zoids, but that's not really an anime.
Zoids! Whoa. It's so
well, was it an anime? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I only remember the CGI tiger thingies.
Yeah. So like the Roids were all CGI, but everything else was 2D anime.
Okay, well,
Big Cloud.
I didn't watch very much of it because I didn't like big robot anime.
Because
just
big robot anime
magical girls.
and small robot anime. We can't forget about Metabots. I watched the heck out of that. Did you ever watch Metabots?
No. I have not.
Hello. Gosh. Okay. Wow.
No, I have not watched Metabots, or whatever you called it.
Why not, Eddie?
I don't know.
That is.
I don't like this has existed since I was a child, but I never really liked like robot things, like robotic giant robots, space robots, whatever.
That makes sense.
I don't know. It was just a weird genre that I just kind of stayed away from.
That's a miracle you got into anime then, because that's all you were fed for a while.
Well, I mean, like, with Sailor Moon helped, and then Pokemon. It's like that showed me a whole different side of the spectrum.
I think Pokemon primed a whole lot of kids for the anime world.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what helped me sort of get into the culture of it was the magazines, which of all of them, I think maybe one still exists in print copy, if even. I don't even know if they do print, and that would be Otaku USA. They still have a website that they update regularly, but in print form, I don't know if they exist.
I think Anime News still exists as
maybe
well. Because I saw that at the bookstore that I worked at on occasion.
Cool.
They do it very rare. Like I think they do it by season, like every 3 months, but it still exists, I think.
Gotcha. Well, I witnessed the fall of Anime Insider and Animerica and New Type USA, all of them. But I still have them, and I don't think I will ever get rid of them because they mean so much to me. I love them so much. They might
touch a pretty penny at some point.
Yeah, maybe so. I do have a couple that are not
open.
They're
in good condition.
I have a couple that are sealed, so hey.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of collectors that would go for that.
Maybe.
If they didn't have it. It's crazy.
But it's just, I loved it. That's what got me information about shows that I would want to watch. It's what connected me. One of my favorite things to read in all of those were the letters. Like, people would write in letters to the magazines and send in fan art and all that. And so it was just like early form, really slow DeviantArt, where people would like put up their fan art of anime and stuff, and most of it was real bad. But luckily the internet and the connectivity of it has allowed all of us to get much better at it. And just the sheer amount of people and talent that are in the community as of right now, really, really cool. The growth has been awesome.
Oh yeah, and it's only getting bigger, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to think about now how like some people's first anime are like Sword Art.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Oh, Sword Art. Yeah, I guess that would be.
Yeah, Sword Art I think got a lot of people into it. It's felt like as much as so many people hate on it, like I think it was the cause for a lot of people taking a second look at anime. But yeah, Naruto as well. Like, because when I grew up, I'm still not grown up. When I was growing up, I remember ads on Toonami for Dragon Ball Z, like saying things on the long lines of like the best fighting anime, or the greatest fighting anime ever made, or whatever nonsense, like stuff like that. And I remember as an older teen hearing similar trailer or commercial spots for like Naruto, and like also saying like, oh, the best action anime ever made, and all this nonsense. And I'm like, this is coming back around. I love what the community is.
90s anime, 2000 anime. Each one has its own like the best ever.
Absolutely.
And then some come around again, or are continuing from not having ever stopped, i.e. One Piece.
Yep, that is so gosh darn true.
And Naruto has a sequel series called Boruto.
Yes.
And Sailor Moon Crystal and Dragon Ball Super. Which still has like even more following than ever before. I'm surprised at how many people are like, how many people I've seen that are super into Dragon Ball Super. Like, nowadays, like around me, just everyday life.
Yep. It's a big thing. It's a big deal. I think it was just the right time, I think, to bring it back. Because again, like Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Yu Hakusho, like those are like, and Inuyasha, those 5 for me were things that made me be like, oh yeah, this is for me. This is going to be for me probably for the rest of my life. Like,
and I think the internet helped a lot with that too.
Yes.
Because the explosion of social media and like world's, culture being able to be researched more readily to the casual person, and how many things actually come from Japan that we actually, partake in.
Absolutely.
And stuff. So.
Yeah, it just.
Thanks, internet.
Yeah, thanks. It just allowed for a community to blossom more freely, and like just with fewer roadblocks than before. I remember in New Type USA, I believe it was, and probably in the other magazines as well. Because again, that was how I connected to the culture at that time.
Yeah.
I recall them having lists in there of like cons, of like where just information lists of like where cons are and when they're gonna happen. And we were thinking like, man, now I can look that up on my phone and know in a second. But like back then,
you could purchase the tickets on your phone.
yeah, I could. Yes, all of that.
You could purchase the plane ticket on your phone.
Everything.
The hotel.
Yep. All of that nonsense. And then back then there's just this list of things, and I would have to figure it out. Or I mean, I'm sure a lot of them probably would have had websites at that time, but it's just not. Oh, it's
technology.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, I remember watching. I think like a really pivotal moment for me in my anime fandom was watching Yu Hakusho for the first time.
Mm-hmm. And we all know how much Ethan loves Yu Hakusho.
I super do. And I oof. Some of it's got to be nostalgia, but also it's just freaking good. Like I have watched it as an adult, and it is actually freaking amazing.
It definitely has its spot as a classic.
Yeah, it holds up. Like the first time I saw it though, I think it was at my aunt's house. And it was way late at night because it was on the Adult Swim block.
Yeah.
Like we'd been watching something on Cartoon Network, and then they like put an ad for that, and that was coming up next in the Adult Swim. And they were gonna watch something else, so I just went in the other room and I just watched it, and I was like, "Holy crap! What is this? It's so good!" And yeah, I followed it on Adult Swim for its first like season. So like they played it on Adult Swim first, uncut, and then I guess they assumed that it would have more success if they edited it a bit and put it on Toonami, which is what they ended up doing, and starting it over from that first season. And so that's where I watched most of it, was on Toonami. And gosh, it got me. Gosh, I was like, and not long after that, it went to Saturday nights, and so yeah, they still got me. I just remember great Saturday nights just waiting for Toonami to come up and to watch all my favorite shows, and spending time watching with my cousin who would watch it with me at my grandparents' house or something like that. Just so great just to watch and enjoy it every week. And then other things on Toonami as well, like Megas XLR, which is a great show.
Megas XLR.
Megas XLR. Yep. It's not an anime. It is an American show, but it tends to make fun of a lot of anime tropes. It is pretty freaking fantastic. If any listeners have not heard of it, please go look it up. Just go, there are episodes of it on YouTube. Go watch it. It's freaking hilarious. It's amazing. It's so good. This dumb, he plays a lot of video games, and he's also kind of a mechanic. So, and his name's Ku. He's the main character, and he one day in a garbage heap finds a very large robot that has been sent back in time from future Earth, and it's the key to preventing an alien invasion in the future.
Oh no.
He finds it. I don't remember if the head is on or if the head is missing, but he replaces the head of the robot with a car, and just starts putting all of his own little additions to it and everything, and it's so freaking cool. The pilot meant for the robot eventually shows up, following the robot through time, through a wormhole, and ends up basically being his co-pilot, because she wants to pilot it, but she can't because he's modified it so much. So he's the only one who can pilot it, and she's essentially there to convince him to focus and try to save the Earth while because these aliens also follow them back in time, and now they're trying to invade Earth in his time.
Oh no.
And he's got his dumb little friend sidekick that goes along with him, so it's the three of them, and they get into all kinds of intergalactic shenanigans, and it's
This sounds
amazing.
suspiciously like Space Speed Racer.
It is so good. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's just watch it. It's a good time. They make fun of so much stuff. Obviously they make fun of big robots and things like that. Space chicks, and they make fun of time travel, they make fun of Power Rangers, they make fun of Sailor Moon at some point, they make fun of like any of your major anime series or tropes. It's all there, and it's great. I love it so much. It's genuinely funny. Anyways, enough of a tangent on that. But yeah, Toonami is great. And what was that?
I said, is it a tangent though?
I guess maybe not. Toonami is great. Yu Hakusho early on was really good for me. I remember also an early anime that I just really was entranced with was Inuyasha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inuyasha was another big hit, especially with the for the ladies.
Indeed, agreed.
I think. Well, as opposed to Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was pretty for the ladies too, but whatever.
I think Inuyasha is the first time that I can remember really enjoying an anime theme. I really like the ending credits, I believe. The song that played, and I just remember there being a Ferris wheel.
I'm like, that's an interesting thing to
see. I know it is, but I think that's often the one that I would see more.
No, that's fine. Like I thought you meant like the actual like credits.
No, like the theme song that played at the end. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like our anime to begin with didn't have a lot of Japanese in it, despite being
Correct.
Anime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they would change the names, or they would like change the theme songs and the ending songs.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that Inuyasha was one of the first ones to actually like keep Kagome and like well, no, I guess Yu Hakusho did that too. I don't remember if they.
Yu Hakusho did a pretty good job of that, although they had an English opening.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, I remember like Urameshi is a Japanese name, like for sure.
Yeah, it is, and it's certainly not pronounced that way. So like I think the actual pronunciation would be like Urameshi.
Yeah.
Not but
Urameshi.
Urameshi. I love
That's the only thing I remember this
so
anime.
Much. That anime is great. That dub is phenomenal.
But like I think I remember being on the same boat that you are. I was like, yeah, because the ending theme was really nice, regardless, and they had a lot of like Japanese remaining in it after the dubbing and stuff.
Absolutely, I remember enjoying that.
So that's always nice.
And then like when other shows would follow suit with that, like there was a Gundam show that had a Japanese opening or closing, one of the two, and I remember it was like a rock song that just got me pumped. I was like, yes, this is great.
And I think once they started doing that, once they started getting the picture that like the Japanese stuff is cool.
Yes.
Then they were like, okay.
Once they were like, oh, we can get some weebs on this. Let's do it.
We can create some weebs on this.
Yes. That's what we live for. I remember really enjoying the intro to Dot Hack Sign.
Oh, yeah.
That song was real cool. Also, Ghost in the Shell. Good God. Whew. Standalone complex stuff was so good.
That's one I actually missed on. I didn't watch Ghost in the Shell.
So I didn't watch all of it, but I'd stay around and watch it if it was on. If I turned my TV on and just happened to be the right time and it was on Adult Swim, I would watch through it. Gosh, Adult Swim. I was there when Adult Swim launched.
Oh, I was too.
It's gracious. I remember watching Home Movies. I think it was one of the early animated things they put on there.
I remember that.
Their programming was slim back then.
It totally was, because they were like, what can we get away with on a cartoon like network? Which it was on Cartoon Network, obviously. Right?
Yes. Good night.
They were definitely testing the waters at the time.
Absolutely. I just remember there being like really dumb, strange commercials for Adult Swim.
Oh yeah.
So just be like this
I
dumb.
mean, they still have that. Like, they never got rid of the stupid stuff that they do.
Well, there was just like a still image.
Space Ghost. Oh my god.
Yes. Space
Good
Ghost.
god.
Harvey Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
Attorney at law. Yes. Yes.
Like King of the Hill was on there.
Was it?
Maybe.
I feel like that was like a
Oh wait, maybe that was Fox.
so Fox or TNT or TBS, one of the two.
Because that was with the blocks of like Family Guy and stuff.
Yes.
That's right. No, that wasn't Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Aqua
Futurama was an
Teen
early
Hunger
Adult Swim run. Oh man.
Yeah. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was on there.
Yeah, I believe it was. I've literally never seen that.
Yeah, same actually. And like we just
We
lost
should
like half our
probably watch
listeners.
that. Yeah, I know. We say that every time we mention that anime. We should probably watch that.
Honestly, we probably should because like that's a we could probably do like a review on that.
Yeah, that's one that a lot of people consider.
This anime sucked. No, no, it's definitely beloved by many a weeb
Definitely.
out there.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, that was the Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh gosh, yes. Meat
Which still occasionally plays, I'm sure.
and Shake and whatever the other one, Fry.
Master Shake, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Oh. Classics of our time.
Yeah.
But anime has come a very long way, and it's become so much more available to us. Because again, at this time, like when you and I were growing up, you got it on television, or you got it at like weird swap meets or cons on someone's like VHS tape that they'd recorded
Extremely
somehow.
expensive imports.
Yeah, or that, yes, absolutely. Or you had to learn Japanese and just deal with it. Like,
What's a sub?
yes.
Subtitles.
Yeah. I think where I stand on the sub-dub debate is, for nostalgia purposes, I'll do dub for like older anime, but for my current anime, sub almost entirely, with a couple of exceptions. But
yeah, I'll be honest. Like, so there were two. Whenever Super started or was about to start on in Japan, they released two movies. They released Battle of the Gods.
Heck yeah.
And they released Resurrection F, which was the Frieza resurrection. I watched Battle of the Gods. Or no, maybe it was Resurrection F. Either way, we watched it. Me and my partner watched it in Japanese with subs, and then I was like, you know what? I'll watch this dubbed.
Yeah, you are.
And we did, and I have to say that it was a bit better.
It is so much better. No,
because
if not, just based on Goku alone, it is
that's
so much better in English. My gosh.
No, the title, like the voices in Dragon Ball, like and Inuyasha. Inuyasha's English voices are actually better as well.
Cool.
Because Inuyasha has that same voice, and it's grinding.
Must have been a trend.
It's definitely grinding.
Yeah, no, definitely. But, a problem I have in older anime that's American dubbed is often young girl voices.
Yeah. They
are atrocious. Because they're that.
Well, it works sometimes. Because something
disagree.
like no. I like Ash. Ash is a prime example that I think of whenever this debate is given, and I think Ash's Japanese voice is amazing. It's a female that does the voice.
No, I don't mind that. I think a lot of the female Japanese voices are fine. What I'm talking about specifically is an American voice that's put to a young girl character.
Oh.
In an older, like one that I watched and just absolutely destroyed me was D and Angel. I watched a dub of that probably a couple years ago now, and gosh, it is it's so high pitched and weird. They're like, because like it's just, I mean, you're a woman, just voice it as a woman, but no, that she like makes her voice even higher and crazy. It's so annoying to hear. Like I had to switch it to sub because it was just like, gosh, yeah, it's bad. I just oof. But there are
sometimes they just don't get it. Most of the time they don't get it.
Yes, most of the time I believe they don't. And usually nowadays I'll watch a show first in sub, and if I feel like watching it again but not paying attention, I'll turn on the dub. That's
not me. I sub or nothing. I'm one of those people.
There's a couple of, I think there are a couple of very, very good exceptions, and The Devil's a Part-Timer is one for me.
You've said that. You've mentioned that before. I thought about doing that, going back and looking at it.
That dub is legitimately great. And one of the things that made it so great, so early on when it was on Netflix, they didn't have subtitles for the Ente Island language. So if you wanted to know what they were saying in that language, you had to turn on the Japanese subtitles while watching the English dub. One of the benefits of that was you got to see in parts where they changed the script from like whatever they said in Japanese, they changed it to sort of Americanize it or like culturally correct it for us. And they made really good decisions when they did that. So whenever I was watching and paying attention to that the first time I watched it through, I was like, okay, that makes a whole lot more sense to say in English. Like changing like colloquial terms or things like that, or ways that maybe slang or something that would make more sense to us and be funnier for us in specific places. I think their voice direction and writing in English was really, really good. Also really like their voice.
It's always nice to see them go the extra mile to fit it in English.
Yes,
because it's not easy. Like matching the lip syncing and stuff.
No, it is not.
Super hard.
Yeah. American voice actors are the real heroes. We appreciate all of you. But yeah. I think I also like the dubbing in Gargantua and the Bird Ross Planet as well.
I never saw that, so
it's okay. I think it's worth a watch. I recently learned it's from the same writer as Psychopaths. And a couple other acclaimed things. I've heard he's apparently a very well acclaimed anime writer, and so I guess that makes sense as to why I would have liked Gargantua and the Bird Ross Planet, because I feel like it was very well written, and the characters were great, and his stuff is very character driven. So yeah. So I'm gonna go watch some of his other stuff. Any hoozles. Was there any anime you watched that made you question whether you should stick with the anime world?
That I should stick with anime?
Yeah, is there any anime you watched when you were younger that you were like, maybe this isn't for me? Any anime?
I mean, any mecha anime.
I guess that's true. You've explained that. Nah, for me it was Bobobo. I was like,
Bobobo.
Yes. What is this? What are you?
I've heard you and David talk about this anime before.
Gosh, that anime.
I thought you liked it.
I might be able to appreciate it now, but as a kid back then, when anime to me was just really cool fighting anime, that to me was such a slap in the face. It was such a stupid call, I think, to me. It also they ran the manga in Shonen Jump as well, and it ended up bumping Shaman King out for the monthly slot, which I loved. And I was like, come now, you're gonna replace Shaman King with this? Ugh. Yeah, I was not excited. Anyways, but yeah, that's probably the closest one for me.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Well, there's something for everyone.
There is.
Even if you don't like this or that or whatever, there's enough differences in these anime to like something.
And that's that's something I really love and appreciate about the anime world and community, that there is so many different things that so many different people can enjoy. That there are things that are absolutely phenomenal as far as writing and that just touch you and just are so great. And we have movies like Your Name now and things like that just are just in all aspects.
Yeah,
really
and
great.
and now we have like anime winning like awards and being nominated for Oscars and stuff, and winning Oscars. You know, as a like Spirited Away, I believe, won an Oscar.
Yeah, I think so.
Or a couple, who knows? I don't remember, but
super great.
But Spirited Away definitely like was one of those breakthrough of the Academy needs to pay attention to these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Anime.
I remember watching that as a kid and being like even like as a child, I was like, I'm not sure if I like this.
Yeah,
but
it's very weird.
But
it's
I feel like weird. I'm supposed to like this because I like anime. And I was like, okay, then I'll be behind it. Let's do that. So even now, I would like if I was gonna watch a Ghibli movie, however you would like to pronounce it. If I was gonna watch a Ghibli movie, that would not be my first pick at all.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
I mean, watching it now though, like watching it recently, like I say recently, I mean in the past like 10 years, it's
as an adult,
it definitely, you can appreciate it a lot more.
Certainly, I'm sure.
Because it's one of the most beautiful anime movies I've seen. Just because Miyazaki is a genius.
Yeah.
And I love all his movies.
He certainly is. Yeah, but anime is just it's given me so much.
Yeah.
Enjoyment, escape, friends, community. It's splendid, and those early days, I look on it with fondness. It's just like those early days where there just wasn't much, but I was so appreciative of what I had, the little bit that I had, and like finding anyone else who liked it or was into it was just so cool. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, really awesome stuff. And now we're just swimming in a cesspool of anime.
Yeah, and like a lot of it is garbage, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we have to. But I mean, yeah, that to me makes it all the better when I find stuff that is good.
Yeah, because there are a lot of good ones, but I mean there are a lot of bad ones too.
Yes, agreed. Speaking of, I've mentioned this before, but Gargantua on the Roadhouse Planet is really good. If you are looking for an anime on Netflix to watch, anyone, watch that. It's good. I stand by that.
But now we have like even American studios trying to emulate.
That's what annoys me now whenever anyone's thought of anime is, it's that stuff with hot chicks and big robots. I'm like, no.
Fan service.
I can definitely understand why people would assume that.
Yeah.
And see, like, I can understand how some of it gives off that vibe. But like, there is so much more to it that I wish people would just give a chance to,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything more to say about your journey through anime?
It was rough in the beginning because I was well, I don't know if I should like tell the story of it. It's definitely family oriented and religion oriented, and they didn't like the magic and stuff that was used in it. And
no, I came across that quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially like with Pokemon, like Pocket Monsters and stuff.
Yes,
like, there was so much backlash from the religious communities for that.
Absolutely, and there was a guy in our neighborhood who talked about it, and he would just always tell us how like evil it is and all this stuff and what it talks about and how it's like, it's talking about evolution and reincarnation.
Yeah. All
this nonsense, and I'm like, or it's a show that's fun and good. I mean, like, I'm religious and I love anime. It's so weird to me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was like a really big part of the childhood, so I had to sneak it a lot. So I missed out on quite a bit of it, like Yu Hakusho. And
right.
I mean, my parents didn't want me They didn't want me watching Sailor Moon either, because she would always proclaim, "In the name of the moon, I will punish you," and that was like, whoa. She's seeing the moon as like a god and stuff. And
gotcha. That's weird. Yeah.
But I still snuck and watched stuff even though they told
We're
me not to,
thankful
so.
you did, sir.
Even though they
We're
told me not
thankful
to, so.
you did, sir.
Now I have wall scrolls and stuff.
Indeed,
I have
yep.
pictures of
Heck
Nami
yeah.
with gigantic breasts on my wall.
We appreciate your sacrifices for our future generations now coming into it, so that everybody listening can appreciate that. I remember like I didn't get backlash from it at home necessarily, a little bit probably, just my parents thinking it was weird. But I think more so at like school, like I would get picked on and things of that nature, and that's often something that would come up, which I found was weird. Like people thinking it was strange that I read manga and watched anime, and so I would get bullied for things like that. And I was just like,
but you know that was nerd culture, like when we were growing up in like middle school and stuff. Wow, you like video games? You like Magic the Gathering?
Absolutely.
Let's shove you in a locker. Whatever.
Yeah. Just dumb stuff like that. That's what made me very appreciative of the convention culture. Like having a place where I could go where everyone else was as nerdy, if not more, than I was, and it was fine. And you could, like, oh man, like my first con was MechaCon. It was real tiny in Lafayette. Like, gosh, it was so small. But I just appreciated being able to walk into a room where there was like, I think I'm gonna do this math in my head real quick. There was maybe 12 booths in the dealer's room.
Wow.
Maybe. It was super tiny. It was so small, so compact. It was like crazy. And then maybe like 4 to 8 artist alley booths out in the hallway, and it was just in a little rinky-dink hotel in the middle of nowhere. But like I just remember loving it, like being able to walk in and like look at all these cool T-shirts for anime that I loved, or buy a sword, or like a freaking Naruto headband, or whatever it was, and for that to be perfectly okay, and for me to go there and be in cosplay and have people take my picture and really love it, and like a little kid really liked my whatever.
You did it right, because my first convention was Anime Expo.
That's right, I remember that story.
That was a trying time.
Just a
very,
tidal
very
wave
shocking.
Of nerd, yes.
I was not prepared whatsoever.
That's great. How old were you for that?
It was 2007, I believe. So 12 years ago. No wait. Was it 12 years ago?
11 years ago.
It would be 12. Maybe it was 2005, because I believe I was like 16.
Okay, cool.
So,
yeah. I was probably 13, 14. Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, 2005 sounds better, because that's 14, so it would have been 15. So, okay. It was between 2005 and 2007.
Gotcha.
So, I was 16 or 18.
Yeah. Nah, I just remember like being in the con and being like, this is it. This is my people.
And I'd never done that before, and there were like 30,000 people there. It was ridiculous.
Oh. That's a lot.
So if you're going to a con, dear listeners, make sure you go to a smaller one first. Otherwise, you will be so overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah. Yes. If we can take anything away from mine and Eddie's experiences as far as conventions are concerned, start off small.
Yeah. And go with people you like really know.
Yes.
Because I went with some internet friends, and they were fine, like, but I didn't know them, so I was kind of like by myself the whole time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
just go with people you know, because even we went to, I mean, my next experience was Anime Matsuri, which I went with you and Scott and David with.
Yes.
And that was a horrible con, but significantly, I enjoyed it significantly better because I was with you guys.
Yes.
And
yes.
it was more enjoyable than Anime Expo, in my opinion.
Oh gosh, yeah. Go with friends, and we're lucky that we live in this day and age. I guess, especially if you're listening to us in the U.S., especially that like you're typically not any more than like a short road trip away from a con.
Yeah,
no matter where you are.
Truth.
And so, do it. Get into it. It's a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm glad that I took the leap on, because I wasn't planning on going back like after Anime Expo. So.
But we got you. We drug you back in.
But then Scott was like, "Hey, we do this thing." And I'm like, "Okay."
We do anime
He's
Matsuri.
like, "You want to come?" I'm like, "Okay." But I was Scott's manager at the time, so it was kind of awkward there too. But
it's okay.
But and
it worked out.
I got introduced to you.
Yes.
And David.
Yes, our first introduction to each other was like a 5-hour car ride with me and you right next to me.
Yep, that is true. That is true. I was sitting in the front. And
that's great. You were also
so
recovering.
what kind of anime you like?
I don't remember you saying very much, like, because you were recovering from food poisoning.
Oh yeah, I had food poisoning that week too. Jesus Christ, that was a horrible con.
Yes. But you came back a couple months later for San Japan, and we appreciate that.
And that set it off. Like, San Japan was amazing.
Heck yeah.
With friends, so it's always going to be on my list of places to go.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Oh, very good. I think with that we can move on to what we've been nerding out to, unless you have any other pressing topics.
Nothing.
Points of discussion for animes. I have mentioned this to Eddie, but I don't think I put it on the pod yet. Last Friday night, I went and saw The Night is Young, Walk On Girl, which is an anime movie by the studio that brought us Devilman Crybaby.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much a similar artistic style, very kooky and cartoony in the way they sort of bend, in the way that anime is typically... it is cartoony, but it's cartoony in its own Japanese way, and there's a lot of things that they're not Looney Toony, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
Devilman Crybaby also, that studio often bends reality a bit more than your typical anime, as far as like squish and stretch of characters to over exaggerate movements and things of that nature, and it's really fun and goofy. And this movie was great. I'm trying to get Eddie to watch it so that we can do an actual proper episode on it.
It is available, so I'll be able to watch it.
Yes, it was a good freaking time. It's quite a trip, and it's like 4 small arcs. It's like 4 shorts sort of put into one. So it's like these 4 different ideas that happen throughout this night, for these characters, and it's gosh, it's good. It's crazy. It was such a wild time to watch. And me and everyone in our row, we were just having such a good time with it and laughing so much. And everyone else in the theater was super quiet. There was also a bunch of old people watching it, and I was like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" We were at this like sort of artsy theater, so I assume maybe some of them were just like regular patrons who just like come every Friday and see whatever they're showing.
Yeah,
and they just got super surprised by whatever this was. Or maybe they were someone's grandparents just helping them out.
Or maybe they like anime.
Maybe, I just doubt it.
Anime has no age.
Oh man, but yeah, that was pretty spectacular. It was a good thing. Also, I jumped out of a plane the following day.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
Skydiving. It's great. Do it.
Yeah. That's all.
It's not really super nerdy, but it was a thing that I did, and I would like to report on. Also, recently got to play a good game of Smash Up that I haven't gotten to play in a while, which is a board game that I love. Where you pick different decks and put them together, so you can pick like a deck of ninjas and a deck of robots, or a deck of dinosaurs and a deck of dragons, or a deck of tornadoes and a deck of sharks. And you can make a big Sharknado deck, and you can fight against other people. It's really good. It's a great game.
It is good.
If you have a friend of yours that gets upset really easily, I recommend playing this game with them. It's great. Look at you, David. Anyways.
David gets mad at most games.
He does. It's great. I love it. I love playing.
He's very competitive. We love you, David. We love your competitiveness.
Yes, indeed.
God, I'll never forget that night that I betrayed you in the house of betrayal.
I can't believe we didn't see that. I can't. Like, we were floored by it. Oh
it
my
was hilarious.
God.
Because like betrayal on the House of the Hill, if no one knows it, like you play as survivors, and then someone betrays you, but there's no rule against the other survivors joining the traitor.
Indeed. And on this particular night, we were playing. It was David, myself, Kaylee, and Eddie, all people who have been on this pod. And Kaylee turned traitor by luck of the draw, and she became a werewolf. And her goal was to either turn all of us to werewolves or kill us all. And we were like,
I'm
all
very
right.
into werewolves.
Yes. Eddie loves werewolves, and for some reason, David and I forgot this fact and just assumed that Eddie would be on board with us to try and survive and kill Kaylee. But the first person Kaylee bites is Eddie. And we're like, David and I are freaking out. We're like, oh no, we gotta find a way to help Eddie. And then he just kills us. Like, the next turn, he just killed one of us, and we were like, oh no. We made a horrible miscalculation.
The winning condition was that all the survivors had to die or become werewolves, and the only way the survivors could win is if they killed all the werewolves. So what was funny is that you guys had killed Kaylee, but I was still there, and I turned like the other person a werewolf. So it was pretty much like
Eddie just
the alpha
won.
died, and then I became the alpha. So it was pretty hilarious.
Absolutely terrible. we were just
the best game.
Stunned. David and I were just like, what? How did this happen? And how did we not know this was going to happen? It was
the best game.
That game of betrayal. Oh my gosh. Mind-boggling.
Good old board games. If you don't play board games, you should play a board game because they're fun.
Get into it. Goodness. Anyway, I think that's about it for my nerding out. As I'm still slowly working through Voltron, season 7.
Season 7.
What about you, Eddie? How's that? WoW.
WoW's great. Next week, some new stuff's coming out, so I'm looking forward to that. They have everything behind a time gate at the moment, so it's like you need to do this stuff that's currently available to you, and then we'll give you some more stuff down the line, and some more stuff down the line. And nobody likes that, but it's whatever.
Nope. But I'm sure that you'll be playing it for the next several months, so
that's why they're doing it. But
and it's work.
Other than that, Preacher just finished up this season yesterday, 2 days ago on Sunday.
Fun junk.
That was good. It was a good ending to that season. And what else? Nothing else really. I think there's an new anime is about to come out. Wait, next month is September, not October. So still got. Well, September's about to come out, so
yeah.
Next month some good animes are gonna be coming, like good old JoJo. God, I can't wait for that. JoJo's gonna be so good.
Fun stuff.
Attack on Titan's still going, so I'm watching that. And that is about it from my side.
Super.
Planning to watch Disenchanted as well, or Disenchantment.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Did we discuss this last week?
I don't think we did, because if I'd seen anything at that point, I'd only seen maybe an episode. Maybe I would have mentioned that, I don't know. But I've been watching it, so I watched the first episode and paid attention to it, and I was like, this is alright. I was hoping for better, but it was not bad. And so now I'm watching it just as a background thing to whatever I'm doing at the time. So if I'm drawing or getting something done that doesn't require a whole 100% of attention, I'll turn that on and just watch in the background while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's not
Sounds
bad.
like one of those kind of shows.
But I was just happy to see. I like that. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying it's just good some good background noise where you'll hear a joke and be like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And just
absolutely what it is. That is
precisely
what it is. But I'm happy to see that creative group up again. doing something.
After Futurama.
Because I've been craving Futurama as of late, but I don't have any way to like get it without paying for it at the moment, and I don't really feel like paying for it. So I was happy to have this around. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes, indeed. But I think that's it for our show this week. Thank you everybody for listening. You can get in touch with us via email, thosenerdsyouknowpod@gmail.com, or on Twitter @TMYKPod. You can please let us know if you've had any stories about getting into anime, what it was like for you, or if you relate to anything that we talked about, or if you got in later, what was your first anime, what was it like, what made you want to stay in the community, or find the community in the first place.
Or leave the community.
Or leave the community if for some reason you're listening to us and have left that community. But yeah, or anything that tried your faith in the community, that's fine too.
Wouldn't that be something? Like one of our listeners not being like fond of anime, but they hear us.
Yes. I mean, we don't.
Wow, we're better than anime.
We don't always talk about anime, so I imagine someone could waltz in on like our Marvel episodes and then find this. But yeah. Anyways, let us know how you feel about that. Let us know if you're excited about anything that we've mentioned in our nerding out section. And you can find the pod on YouTube, on Apple, what was that? iTunes, that's what it's called.
iTunes.
You can find it on Apple stuff. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it on Google Play. We're on Podbean and Castbox and Stitcher, and some other places where you can find pods. Look us up. You'll find us. Find us on Facebook. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Give us a review if you can. We appreciate that very much. Share us with a friend if you would like to. We very much appreciate you listening to us every week. But yeah, that's about it for this week. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
And we are those nerds you know. Bye.